Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Hey, listen, I've been getting a lot of response in regards to the videos that I listed out in regards to the actual grants that are available to everybody. And so, what I want to do with the video now to just let everybody know the minimum requirements that is required, the minimum requirements that most of the grants require, because a lot of people are responding to the videos, asking me questions about, do I need to actually be a business? I know it sounds odd, but a question is a question. Do I need to be in business? How long do I need to be in business? What do they need? Bank accounts, different information. So what I want to just make this video is to give out the minimum requirements that majority, the basic information that most of the grants will require you to have. Okay, because I know that everybody, have different businesses, function at different levels and everything. But at the end of the day, what the grant requires is what the grant requires, regardless if you have it or not. Okay, so excuse me, to answer your questions and probably save some time. So if it's something that's probably not going to work out for you, that's why I want to make this quick video to help you out. Again, to give you the minimum requirements that most of the grants would ask for. Okay, the first thing I want to just, before we get started, I wanted to, you guys to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about personal finance, business, and entrepreneurship. Easiest way to do that is hit that dollar sign in the bottom right hand corner. Cool. Now, going to that minimum requirement list, the first thing you guys need to make sure that you're a legitimate business, that being you being incorporated, whatever state you set up in. So if it being a LLC, C Corp, S Corp, however you set up, you need to be a legitimate business. You can even be a sole proprietorship where you have your just your basic business license, but you have to be an established business first. You cannot be John Doe, Jane Doe, anything like that. You have to be an established business. Sometimes they can let you use a DBA or just use your name and everything like that, but majority of the time you're not going to get approved for it. Okay, even if they allow you just use your name and just say you're an independent contractor with doing it, majority of the time you won't get approved for it. So you need to make sure that you are a business, okay, that's been incorporated. Again, the LLC, S Corp, C Corp doesn't matter, but please, you need to be an established business. The second thing is you're going to need a tax ID number, tax identification number, or employment identification number, same thing, but you're going to need that because most of one of the basic requirements they'll ask you in regards to everything is just to have that because as far as the grant goes, even though you don't have to pay the grant back, who's ever being the grantor that's giving the grant out, they may report in different ways because just going to give it to you doesn't mean you have to be accounted for it because a lot of grants that are out there, they're going to want you to pick it up as income. They're writing it off as an expense, but they're going to 1099 you at the end of the year. So you do have to pick it up as income. Again, you didn't do anything for this money. You don't have to pay this money back. But a lot of them are going to have you pick that up as income. So they're going to want to have that tax ID number for tracking mechanism to report that they gave you that money. So you're going to need, second, that tax identification number. Third is kind of like what I brought up in number one, that being having a business license, especially when we start talking about different grants from a local level, being with the city or local municipality, county that you live in. A lot of them want to have some kind of proof to show that, hey, this is where you're located at and everything. So kind of make sure you have that on deck in regards to that because, like I said in one of my previous videos, a lot of the grants are going to require you, the majority of the grants are coming from local areas, being again your city, your county, or your state. So they're going to have some kind of mechanism to make sure that you have that in place. So that business license is very important. The fourth thing is you're going to have a bank account with the business name on it. You cannot apply for a grant. I'm telling you, they're not going to fund the grant if you don't have the business name that you apply for it, have a bank account with that set up. It's just not going to happen. Okay. If you cannot prove that, everything's going to stop right there. That's one of the biggest questions that a lot of people are asking me. Like, if I have the business name, do I have to have the bank account? That they're going to either want to direct deposit or cut a check to the business that is on the application to it. If you don't have it, 99.9% of the time it's going to get denied. Okay, or even if it starts the process, it's going to stop everything. So you have to have a bank account with that business name on it. Okay, that's very, very important. Now, these last couple things, I'm going to give four more things. They're requirements, but these four items are usually, for verification purposes. So let me rehash those first four I just gave. That being you being incorporated, tax identification number, business license, and bank account. It's hard to kind of get away from those four. You got to have those minimum requirements that most of the grants have. The next four they're going to give you guys, it's kind of quasi, being a requirement, but most of the time, the actual grantors they're going to give the grant out usually for verification purposes. So it's very, very important, because if you don't have it, it's one of the things that get you kickback, with it. Even if you meet the other requirements, they just want to use it for verification purposes. It is a legitimate business. And that would be a number 5, being tax returns. A lot of times they want to see tax returns just mostly show that you guys have, actually filed taxes, see how long it's been in, they, verify the actual year that you filed, the income you made, the expenses and everything. So that's one of the things that, someone will ask for, those tax returns. Again, we're asking for free money. This is not a loan. So we can't get too much in our feelings if someone asks for something that we're not able to produce, because they don't have to give it to us. So just be on the keep in mind they may ask for tax returns. Again, we're talking about items that may be used strictly for verification purposes, but they can stop the whole process if you're getting that grant. The next one being financial reports, those being your profit and loss or income statement, your balance sheet, or your cash flow statement. They may want to see those particular financials just to see where you guys are financially. If you guys, this is a business that's actually thriving, it's a business that's actually struggling. This is a business, you have X amount of dollars in the bank like you say you do, or what you normally do, with the money that you normally have in regular day-to-day operations, okay? So just be prepared for them to ask for those financial statements or financial reports. Number 7 being a website. Again, we're talking about verification mechanisms that they use. They may want to have a website where they can just track and see, okay, this is a business here. They have some kind of presence there. And, you don't be surprised with that. Most grant applications, they do ask for grants now and some social media information. So don't be surprised if that's one of the requirements they use just for verification purpose. They want to actually go to your website. Remember, we're talking about the verification purpose. So kind of be, keep this in mind that they're asking for that. And last, number 8 is actually having a basic phone number for the business and an email for that and everything, with the actual website domain attached to the email, instead of such and such at Hotmail, Yahoo, or Gmail.com. It may sound petty, but at the end of the day, we're talking about verification methods. What I always want everybody to understand is that when we start talking about grants, we're talking about quote unquote free money. And because it's free money that doesn't have to get paid, there are a lot of people that are going for it. So the more that you can get scrutinized for them not to give it to you, not saying they don't want to give it to you, but they have to go through these different levels of scrutinizing, cutting everybody down and everything. The more items that you don't have, you lessen your chance of getting the grant. So we want to make sure that we're in compliance as much as possible to be able to take advantage of these grants. One thing I do want to bring up to everybody is that what I talked about before in all my videos is that keep in mind with grants, people just want to apply as free money. I want to go get it and everything. Remember, the main purpose of grants is to solve a problem, right? Be it, you're a disabled veteran, you're a minority starting a business, you're a young female that's a single mother or something like that. Grants are set up to solve a problem. When you're applying for the grant, you have to craft your pitch for you to get the money. Okay, so it's not an issue like I got to get this money, I'm gonna apply for this money. No, you have to understand what the problem that the grant is made to create, and you have to craft it. Remember, to solve that problem. You just can't go with your palms up and asking, hey, I want this money. You got to figure out how you can sell everything, because most times they're going to ask in the description, what are you going to use this grant for? Why do you need this grant? How have you been severely impacted by this situation? How, if you get this grant, you can turn things around. So you have to be prepared for that, okay? Again, we're talking about those scrutinizing parts of the grant application. Remember, I just gave the 4 key minimum requirements it's going to take. Then I gave you 4 more they're going to kind of use for verification. When we start getting to that description part of how you're going to use it, why you need it and everything, you got to have your selling hat on and be very, very smart about it. Take your time. Don't just, I need the money. Be smart about it and keep in mind what the grant is for, okay? Make sure you got a good story. Make sure you got a compelling story. Make sure you got a story that's going to sell, okay? But keep all that stuff in mind. And again, I just want to make this video because again, a lot of phone calls, people reaching out, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying the information and everything with that. But that's one of the biggest questions I'm getting asked. What do I need? Or what do they need to see? Or do they just need this or that? So I just want to make this video in regards to the minimum requirements that most grants, the minimum requirement of most grants. So I hope this information helps you. Again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. Make sure you hit that dollar sign in the bottom right hand corner. Subscribe to the channel. Remember, on Mr. Short Dollar, we talk about personal finance, business, and entrepreneurship. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share all the information. And as always, take care, and I'll see you later.